Hello everyone, welcome back to PTR, and today we're looking at Nymue. This is a very interesting boss, and as you can see there's these things on the floor, and there will be different patterns that you have to deal with. Now these patterns, it appears that there are 3 different types of patterns, but it's important noticing that these zones right here, as I draw with my green marker in a green room, these zones are very painful. Okay, so if you're here and you need to go here, going through this will likely kill you. And the way you deal with moving through these zones is you wait until there are some flowers, and we'll see that in a second, that allow you to move through the zones. These zones are called the matrices, and that's the whole gimmick of the fight. It's actually a pretty simple fight if you get the gimmick. So there's a couple of things going on here. Let's start with Fred Blast, the cast that the boss is doing at the moment. Is just a beam of damage on the tank, deals physical damage and nature damage, deal with it. The next thing is Weaver's Burden. This is just a stacking dot that the tanks get, and upon expiration you basically explode damage to the entire raid depending on how close to the raid you are. So you get this, get out of raid when it's about to expire, and that's pretty simple. Now that we've talked about the gimmick of the fight, you can see that these swirlies are the second part for the gimmick. So these swirlies, when they spawn, they will spawn some flowers. Now these flowers, once you move into them, they will like shrink and disappear. But these flowers or grass or whatever, this is what allows you to go through the matrix lines without taking damage. So if you ever have to move through a matrix, this is how you move through it. You walk through the lines, but you need to go through the flowers. Now why would you even walk through the matrix in the first place? Well, that has to do with an ability called Threads of Life. Now these 3 cruels, this is like some daggers that will chase some people, as you can see right there. Let me see if I can highlight it for you. Right there, I'll make it very obvious in pink. Those cruels will target a player over there, and they will walk towards the player. Now this speeds up with, and it will catch on to you eventually. If you do this, and you actually don't move out with this and go through a line, a matrix, this, once it hits you, it will explode the entire raid with damage and likely just causing a wipe. Now the way for you to negate this mechanic is actually to make sure that this cruel right there goes through one of these matrices that are like drawn and whatsoever. If it goes through this, once it reaches you, it does basically nothing. So as you can see, all we have to do is take that cruel through a matrix, and once it goes through the matrix, right there, it gets deactivated and does nothing, and we're fine. Now the problem is, you might have to go through matrices yourself in order to do this, so therefore you might have to use some foliage. If you do use foliage, you're fine. But if you don't use foliage, it's highly recommendable you use a massive personal, because the damage you take going through the matrix will be very tough to heal. And that's the entire fight, with the exception of a special intermission. So once the boss gets to 100 energy here, and we'll see this in a second, going off right now, the boss will do the Continuum. This is like an intermission phase where the boss will spawn in either side of the room an ad, and this ad needs to be killed. Now, going into this ad again, notice how there's these zones. So for Melis, these zones deactivate when the ad spawns. So it might be a good idea to just wait before you go to the ad, but then they will spawn again. And once they spawn, you need to find a way to get back to the boss. We'll talk about that in a second. But this ad, it's nothing special, honestly. At this point the boss is immune to damage basically, and this ad doesn't do anything special besides just pull some damage, and I mean there's not much to this ad. Honestly, just kill it and it will do this like volley stuff that you interrupt. So yeah, there's nothing special here. Once you kill the ad, and I want to actually take a second to talk about this. Notice how the matrix will go like this and all the way like this, which means that you standing inside the hitbox of the ad will likely kill you. So you need to be very careful with how you position. Now once the ads die, the boss will become active, but thankfully we have flowers to go through. So going through the flower, we got no debuff and we're safe. Now looking for an example where going through the matrix and not the flowers can actually be lethal, you can see here how going through that without the foliage already gave 2 stacks of this debuff, and right now we're taking a lot of damage, almost likely killing you, if not totally killing you. And yeah, it's really nasty debuff to have to deal with, and you can definitely tell melees are gonna have a harder job than range on this boss fight. But that's basically all for Nymue. Right now the boss feels very simple if you understand the gimmick, but at the same time very incomplete, because there's not really any heroic or mythic mechanics for the boss right now. It's the same on all 3 difficulties. But keep in mind that as this is PTR, anything can change. And yeah, there's not much more to say about Nymue, so that's gonna be all for today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, bye bye.